What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we are going to be doing the Manchester City daily transfer update. We're going to be running daily transfer updates throughout all of the January 2020 winter window. So if you are interested, make sure you press that red button, subscribe, press the bell and put your push notifications on. We're aiming for 5,500 subscribers by the end of the transfer window at the end of January. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. At the time of recording, I think we're now 117 subscribers away, I think. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Thank you everyone for the continued support. You can check out my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in description below and popping up on screen. And don't forget also you can find my email in description below, which is jsgc171@gmail.com if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to crack on with this video, and we're first up going to be speaking about two new stories in this transfer update, both of them really interesting. We're going to start with the ins, we're going to go into detail with this transfer. It comes with regards to Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. Now we're all going to get a taste of what Grealish is capable of today in the Manchester City game going up against Aston Villa. So obviously we're going to see firsthand what Grealish is capable of. But he's a homegrown player, young, good quality player that Manchester City certainly could try and take to that next level. Now it was being reported by Metro, which isn't the most reliable of sources, which I will agree with, but it's interesting. I find it really interesting because they were reporting, some reports were anyway, that Jack Grealish was a box-to-box midfielder, which I found crazy because City, they have tooted and possibly had a look at trying to sign a defensive midfielder, hence was getting linked with Aura yesterday, but Jack Grealish is not a defensive midfielder, and he most certainly isn't a box-to-box midfielder either. He's an attacking player. He's a player that can play at the top end of midfield. He can play out wide too. He's a hard-working, hard-grafting player, and apparently this rumour has come around from Metro because Pep Guardiola is keen, because Jack Grealish is a wonderfully skilled player who's very good at beating the high press. So when we're going up against teams that want to play the high press, Jack Grealish could well be perfect for that when City want to possibly play on the counter-attack. So that might be why City are looking at him. City at this moment in time do not need attacking players and wingers, but there will come a time where we may. Leroy Sané's future still undecided, that Jack Grealish could well be a replacement. Albeit Jack Grealish isn't as quick as Leroy Sané, probably isn't as skilled as Leroy Sané, but Jack Grealish would bring something to City which Leroy Sané cannot, which is his hard work and determination. I'm not saying Leroy Sané isn't hard working. I think he's a wonderfully skilled player that relies a lot on his talent, whereas Jack Grealish is a hard grafting player. He'd be a typical hard work, it reminds me a little bit of James Milner, but think of James Milner as an attacking player. That's what it reminds me of, a hard-working player that will be there to get the job done. And at times, you feel like City need players like that just to get the job done. You go very far with hard work, and honestly, when I first saw the rumour, I was just like, it's just daft, it's just stupid, but the more I slept on it and I've thought about it, I think that it's actually a pretty solid transfer as long as City can get a good deal for Grealish. Now that brings me on to my next point with Aston Villa. Villa do not need to sell Jack Grealish. They know that he's homegrown. They know that there's interest coming in from Manchester City. There's interest coming in from Manchester United. There's interest coming from Chelsea too. They know that there's going to be a bidding war there. There's going to be interest there. So they know that they can ask for a high fee for City to pay if they want to bring Grealish in. Now, I would only be keen on this transfer should we get a good deal for Grealish. Like, I wouldn't want to pay over the odds. He's a homegrown player. You just know it's going to happen where they're going to ask for a huge fee. It happened with John Stones at the time, £50 million, which £50 million doesn't seem like too much money in these day and age in the transfers, but it's still a lot of money that Villa could come in with a young, homegrown, attacking player. They could be asking for north of £50 million for a player that's been in the Premier League for less than one season. I just do not value him at that. But if City can get the negotiations going and get a good deal with Aston Villa, I'd be more than happy with that. City's got a good working relationship with Aston Villa, let's not forget, because we've already sold Douglas Luiz to them. So we have negotiated and worked with Aston Villa before. It's a transfer that we could get done. It's a transfer that, to me, as soon as the fee's agreed, could be done relatively quickly, but I don't see this transfer happening anytime soon. I certainly don't see it happening in the January transfer window. However, it is something that we could keep our eye on going forward into the summer transfer window. We know that City could well be looking to as many as 5 new signings by the end of the summer. We're going to have to presume that 1 or 2 of them is going to be a centre-back. I've heard that we could well be looking at a left-back. Defensive midfielders have been talked about, and obviously attacking players sitting either at the top of midfield with David Silva leaving, or possibly a winger should Leroy Sané leave. So City could well be looking at 4 or 5 new players joining City before the end of the summer transfer window. I would be surprised if City didn't have a look in January. I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. We're leaving ourselves being very busy in the summer if we're going to sign as many as 5 players. I thought that if we're looking for homegrown players in particular, there's no reason why City cannot do that in this window. I'm talking if they wanted to bring Nathan Ake in, he's homegrown, they could easily do that in this window. If they wanted to bring in a homegrown player like Grealish, they could easily do that in this window. City won't, I don't think, but it's something I would like to see. I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Would you be happy with Jack Grealish? Obviously, he isn't a big name. He's not the Barcelona's Ousmane Dembélés that we've been linked with out wide and stuff, but he is a hard-working, hard-grafting player who will get the job done, who Pep's apparently keen on, who I rate. I think Jack Grealish is a good player. I would personally like to see, if Aston Villa stay up, him do another season at Villa, see how he does in the Premier League, give himself 2 seasons experience, see how good he is, find his level, rather, because too often you hear players having good seasons and then make a move to another club, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work, and then you end up with players like Jack Rodwell. John Stones, unfortunately, seems to be heading in the same direction. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 or 2 good seasons, and all of a sudden you get your big money move, and then all of a sudden you realise actually a flash in the pan type situation. So it's all about experience, and like I said, City can get a good deal. I have no problem with us bringing him in. However, 1 season in the Premier League does not automatically mean that we've now got to pay over the odds. That's something that Manchester United have in their arsenal for their transfer strategy, not something I associate with Manchester City. It's one of those things, could be paper talk, it might not be. I'll keep my eyes peeled. I found this transfer rumour, though, really interesting, so I'd like to know your thoughts of it in the comments below. So we're going to move on to our next story. Comes in the form of the outs, and it comes in the form of one player that I've mentioned quite a bit in the video already, John Stones. Now, John Stones has got 2.5 years, I think, left on his current contract with Manchester City, and he's keen to sign a new deal with City. He wants a new contract at Manchester City, basically. And Manchester City haven't even opened up contract discussions with John Stones about him renewing his contract, and so it's been reported in the Mirror that now, because of that, John Stones' future has been cast into doubt. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think his future is in doubt. I do, however, feel like he's at Manchester City, though, because he helps boost our homegrown quota. And that's the main, that's his USP, that's his unique selling point. It's just crazy that he's a homegrown player, and that's why you're at Manchester City. You should be at Manchester City because you're a top quality player. We know that John Stones is a top quality player. He needs to be more consistent. His time at City's been played full of injuries and I'd say inconsistencies. He's gone months. We've been absolutely excellent, looking like a fantastic defender, this type of defender that saw England do really well at the World Cup. We saw how good John Stones can be. And then at other times, he's just been what City haven't been looking for. And so, yeah, swings and roundabouts. Not too sure what to do with John Stones. John Stones, he really needs to prove himself. If he wants a new contract at Manchester City, he's going to have to really bust the gut. He's going to have to put in good quality performances for City. He's going to have to be more consistent. And he's going to have to try and get to that next level that we know he is capable of. When he gets there, I think that's when he should be rewarded with a contract. And that's what I think it is. I think a contract should be a reward for how well you have done. Eric Garcia has been talked about a new contract. Well, he's a young player on a young contract. That represents him being a young player. He's now stepped up to the plate. We know that he's in and around the first team squad, and he's more than good enough to slot in and around the Manchester City squad, and he should have a contract that reflects that, because that shows how important he is at City. He's no longer the young kid. He's now a Manchester City first team player, and so he should have a contract that represents that. He's put in some good quality performances. He's worked really hard in training. He's impressed everybody, and so he should be rewarded with a contract. The same applies for John Stones. John Stones puts in some good quality performances from now until the end of the season, keeps himself fit, gets himself into the England European Championship squads, has a good summer for England again like he did at the World Cup back in 2018, then I think he should be rewarded for that and given a new contract. But until that happens, I don't think you should just be handing out contracts because somebody has asked for it. That's just my opinion. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below of this and of the Jack Grealish transfer rumour. So let me know what you think in the comments below. So that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button. Press the bell. Put your push notifications on. Daily Manchester City transfer updates. Stay in the loop with everything happening with daily Manchester City transfer news. Don't forget also, check out my social media links, Twitter and Instagram in description below and popping up on screen. You can find my email in description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business enquiries. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. We'll also have the analysis of the Aston Villa game. Fingers crossed Jack Grealish doesn't score past us, but, you know, and hopefully we can come out with a win. We'll have that up at some point over the next 24 hours or so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.